Welcome once more, shadow dwellers. Before you lies today's tale, cracked like the spine of an ancient book, spilling secrets it wishes it could hide. Allow me to introduce you to the story of the Alabaster Cage. You see, there is a reason some heirlooms are factories of dread rather than pride. Imagine a house, cold as stone though it's built of wood and brick, crouched in a forgotten hollow. Within it lives Moira, the unsuspecting girl in our tragedy. Moira, young, bright-eyed, and drawn back to the family estate by the pull of ancestry. Her father's sudden death was tragic enough, but the will carried a poisoned gift, a mirror. Not just any mirror, darlings. This one was framed in twisted alabaster, its surface so silver it seemed to ripple with disdain. Alabaster often murmurs of purity, but you'd be surprised what it can conceal. The legacy attached? Here's where the meat of the story festers. The mirror belonged to Moira's great-grandmother, a woman whispered about only in darkened rooms. They say she danced with shadows, bound herself to darker elements during a time of famine. Through that inscrutable mirror, she claimed she could see one's true self. But not as you are. No, how you'll become. Or perhaps what you'd rather not be. When Moira first placed it on her wall, it felt innocent enough. Her reflection smiled back, calm as calm could be. But then came the dreams. Oh, those maddening, relentless dreams. Night after night, she dreamt of her face staring back blankly from beyond the mirror, yet the frame's alabaster had turned black as coals. Her image whispered, though her lips never moved. She couldn't understand the words, but knew they thrilled and curdled her insides. Each morning, her reflection seemed different. It wasn't wrong, per se, just off. A slight angle of her lips too sharp, the flicker in an eye too calculating. But what does one do? Tell themselves they're imagining things, of course. So she dressed, laughed, and carried on. How predictable, but denial always is, isn't it? Then came the game, the mirror's sinister amusement. Oh yes, this relic was no benign object. It wanted Moira to look deeper, to peel away layers of her own essence by stepping closer. Whispers began emerging from the reflective stasis. She called it creaking floors, drafty windows, a tired mind sculpting illusions. But those words, you are not yourself. Moira stood transfixed, her feet glued before its glacial surface. Somehow, the reflection blinked later than her own eyes did, a flinch delayed by fractions of a second. So tiny, one could dismiss it. But she didn't. She started analyzing herself obsessively. Photographs next to the mirror. Her laugh compared between glass and life. Cartoons played on cell phones, proving reflections moved true. Problem is, this was no ordinary glass. One haunting evening, as candles flickered dangerously low around her, she broke the rule she'd sworn to follow for nights. She touched the surface. Do you know that moment when you think brushing a taboo will suffice, only to find it never does? The alabaster. It breathed. I mean that literally. Its texture grew soft under her touch, pliable yet revolting, as if touching flesh stretched over petrified bone. She wanted so badly, to yank her hand away, but something, shadow lovers, someone held it in place. One moment, she was staring at her pale reflection, gazing wide-eyed, horrified into the abyss. Next, she wasn't staring out. She was staring in. She was looking at herself from the wrong side. Inside the mirror now stood Moira, her voice shrieking yet alien through the lips of what remained outside. The symbol of the alabaster frame began to crawl, black vines etching into her prison. She could feel her soul leaching into its parasitic threads, like venom coursing through veins she forgot existed. If mirrors hold truth, then what does a cursed mirror hold? A truth too raw to grasp, perhaps? This is where our tale takes its plum-tinted turn. You see, the reflection left behind wasn't a doppelganger, nor a thief pretending to be Moira. It was her, yes, but twisted into ambition, unchecked by humility, love dulled into cold calculation, everything fragile and passionate, burnished away. She spoke like Moira, moved like her, dressed her role. The family estate thrived. She smiled with its newfound opulence, yet friends felt winter upon speaking to this new iteration of her. What lingers beyond glass cannot inhabit our world warmly, dearly. And the original? Oh, she's there still, trapped inside ever-tightening alabaster vines. Forgotten, accumulating every lost humanity her replacement siphons for worldly success. They say she can be glimpsed, if you dare confront the frame sharply angled beneath your gaze. But beware, for we often find she's not begging for help. No, sweet one, she's begging to trade places. So tell me, my cherished witnesses, what would you do with such a mirror? Would you crack it? Burn it? Or does its beauty seduce you despite a tarnished, ghastly history? Careful what you choose. Histories never die. They merely wait, patiently, wrapped behind ribbons of alabaster fortresses. And so the cage remains. Multitudes whisper that legacy is merely memory dipped in nostalgia, until stories like Moira's remind us otherwise. Thank you for walking this mind's alleys of horror once again. Until next time, my spectral audience, beware your own reflections.